one of our favorite people on the planet, Jann Arden, in studio right now. Jann!
Hey! I don't even need my headphones.
You don't?
Well,
Don't even
true
need them.
pro.
Everyone put their headphones on and I panicked.
Oh.
I thought, I'm going to have to name this song. And so, yeah. Anyway,
Name the
thanks for having
song.
me, guys.
Name the song.
There's no song. Don't mess with Jann. Don't you mess with Jann.
She turned my thing down.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even have volume.
Jann Arden, one night only on CTV, Wednesday, December the 4th.
That's what
today.
day it is. That's today.
Yeah, it's tonight at 9 o'clock. What do we expect, Jann?
Do you know what? I'm in the middle of a tour, so I think someone really smart, Nancy McLean, Randy Lennox, said, hey, let's capture a little bit of that magic.
Yeah.
Right.
We had an audience come in, and we played some songs, and they had a little glass of champagne and an hors d'oeuvre, and I told some stories, as I do in my live show. So I think it's really great. It's an unscripted, fly by the seat of my pants, 1 hour special. I think there's a reason they're putting it on at 9 o'clock. I can't quite remember exactly what I said. But yeah, I think it's after the kids go to bed.
Yeah.
But I'm so thrilled. From what I've seen, it looks amazing. Yeah, I'm really proud of the band. And to be able to go out there and play some music for an hour and talk about the stories and talk about life is a pretty unique opportunity.
Well, and that's the thing that's endeared you to people for so long. Is like your storytelling is amazing.
Yeah.
And I love. I've seen you a couple times, Massey Hall.
Yeah.
And the stories that you tell every time with every song, like some artists will go through and they'll tell the same song in every city.
Yeah.
You'll just tell what's on your mind that night.
I really do. It's whatever happens, during the course of a day. A lot of times it's very mundane things about parents or walking dogs or cleaning up poo or
You're
not
no
my own poo. Not my own poo.
Not yet.
You're no BS.
Thank you, Adam. I got a few years left to go. But yeah, I think you have to engage with people on a really personal level. I always tell people, you're never going to hear me at a rave. You're not going to hear my music. I am so much about personal one-on-one consumption. Minivans and just people locked in their own bedrooms.
Okay.
That's where you're going to listen to my music.
One thing we've been talking about a lot lately, and this is a complete right-hand turn, but I want to get your opinion on it because you know the music business.
Yes.
And a lot of people have no idea how the music business works, and fair, because why would they?
Well, the people even in the business, Adam, don't always know the inner workings.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, go throw it out.
And they sign bad contracts. Oh, so Taylor Swift left her record label. Publishing, Big Machine, yeah. So then there was that whole controversy of whether or not she'd be able to use her back catalog when she was named Artist of the Decade at the Billboard Music Awards. She was able to do it, but she had to do a public
there was
campaign
a few
for Sky.
caveats.
Yeah, it was. So how does that work, and what's the deal with that?
Well, I'll give you an example. Years ago, people might remember when Michael Jackson sold his publishing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to throw this number out there. I think he got somewhere like $350 million for his back catalog.
Wow.
The Beatles, the same thing. They had sold their catalog. Now,
I think Michael bought some
I
of
was
that.
going to
right?
say Michael owns some of it.
Michael
oddly
owns
enough.
some of
Yeah.
the Beatles publishing. So what happens is that we all write these songs. For me, I own half of my publishing.
Okay.
I always do. I will in perpetuity. I have no idea what the actual details of Taylor's publishing deal was, but by the sounds of it, an outside party, not Taylor Swift, owns her publishing outright.
Scooter Braun.
So Scooter
buying it
Braun
anyway.
owning that. The unfortunate part of, I don't know why they have reached a point where it's so adversarial, where they're like, we don't want to let you use your music. I mean, for one thing, they're making the money off of it.
It's a territorial thing almost at this point, yeah.
If that was me, if I was Scooter, and you're already having the income every time a Taylor Swift song is played around the world, let that be. That's one thing in and of itself. But I would also say to the artist, if she was my artist, you go play your songs, go spread your joy, go do whatever you want to do with your catalog. You want to go re-record those songs. To me, that seems like a gentlemanly, human interaction to have with an artist who has done so much for the industry, for the planet. She's stuck her neck out, with Apple Music, with all these people wanting to make sure other artists get paid for their work.
Yeah.
So it's an extraordinary thing that she's done, and she wasn't always supported by the rest of the industry.
No.
But yeah, you'd think very human. Let her record her stuff.
And you'd think that it would be about the fans, because the fans are who want to hear
And
it, but
her fans?
very rarely do you hear the word fans and all this back and forth between Scooter and Taylor. It's
Yeah.
really, really sad, and that's who it should be about.
You feel bad for Taylor, too, because it just seems like you either are always on Taylor's side or people are just out together at times.
I think her body work is incredible. She's this young woman. But often the case, when people seem to soar artistically, for whatever reason, there's this thing in people's heads, if she succeeds means that I fail.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
that is the thing.
Success is not this bowl that is filled and no one else can be successful. It is a horizon. It's a line that is infinite. So they're like, people always say to me, there's so much music out there, you don't get played on terrestrial radio anymore. What happens? I'm like, no, I had my day. It doesn't take away from other projects that I'm doing or being creative. So in Taylor's case, they want to tear her down.
Yeah.
And they want to tear down something good. Is it human nature? I have no idea what it is. But she's a bona fide, skilled, brilliant writer. She has a way of writing those earworms that are infectious.
You never forget them.
You never forget them, say what you will. And everybody else can just screw off as far as I'm concerned.
There she is.
And let her, these are fleeting things too. Success is on a roller coaster. Let people be up when they're up, because we all climb down the other side of that ladder at some point.
And you know what it's like to be on the up. You know what it's like to have international success. Shawn Mendes, local guy, Pickering, going through that right now. Drake, too, most streamed artist of the decade, which 10 years ago, if you'd said a Canadian will be the most streamed artist in the world.
Wasn't he the first guy, Drake, to hit 1 billion streams?
I think he was,
on
yes.
a single song?
Yep.
So when you're writing that.
What the hell?
Yeah, right?
It's a lot.
When you're writing that, is it hard to kind of stay grounded? Like a guy like Shawn Mendes, who we've interviewed before, really nice guy.
Such a darling.
But how do you remain that?
I think it's the people you have around you. Absolutely. I mean, when you look at Justin Bieber's trajectory, it's not dissimilar from Shawn. Shawn and him kind of found their way on the internet. That was their initial bang into the world. Was, I think Shawn had done, songs in his parents' basement and done all these covers. Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Justin was the same thing. I think it's the people you surround yourself. I think it's your family. I think Shawn's got an amazing group of family people around him and friends. And I think he's got really good, steady as you go people that are advising him properly. He's also a sensible guy. He's also a feet on ground guy. It's anybody's guess what happens 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, but I've always found his interviews to be personable, charming. He's shy.
Humanistic.
The Rolling Stone interview.
Yeah.
I know that he was disappointed in that because of the way the journalist kind of tried to twist his words. And that happens. But yeah, fame has teeth. It's as simple as that. Are you going to buy into the idea of it being this thing that puts you above people, or are you going to use fame to be altruistic, to support other people, to have a voice, to bring attention to things that require attention, whether it's, causes, diseases, politics, the environment. You do have a voice. Not many people have a platform to be heard. I think somebody told me it was like 0.005% of the people on the planet actually can have a voice that is heard.
Wow.
You better use it right then.
Well, I think that's why Twitter gets volatile. It's people shouting out for the abyss. They want to be heard. And
folks that don't need the platform get it.
And they have 4 followers. How do you get heard? Sometimes it's being a troll and being as volatile as you can be to grab somebody's attention. So.
Bingo.
It's only so many times you can yell at your family at Thanksgiving dinner, so eventually you got to head to the internet.
Jann Arden, one night only, tonight, 9 o'clock on CTV. Right? You got to watch Jann, you got to hear the stories, and you got to see an audience behind a couple of cocktails too, right?
Oh.
Yeah, the more you drink, the better we sound.
That's right.
It's like our
we
show.
love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you again. I'm not just waving past the window.
It's nice. It's nice
I
to have
actually
you
got
come
to
in.
come into the room today.